everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine with Read.Pray.Disney. Here on this channel, we like to talk all things Disney, from planning to packing to pens to books. So obviously I'm not at home, right? Y'all caught me in another instance where life kind of dictated what I needed to do. So it's the end of the school year, and my girl, she goes to an after-school program after school, and they're having a party, and I picked her up too soon, and she's like, "Mommy, no." Okay, so let her have the after school party. And I said, well, I'll just go sit in the car for a little bit. And well, here's a perfect opportunity to catch you guys up on Evil Queen. All right, so when we left off, Evil Queen, remember, yeah, Everly kind of killed Mom by siphoning too much of her magic. Not kind of, like she did. Like she killed her mom. Hartley is sick. Sick with grief also, but sick in the sense that we believe Everly has been siphoning from Hartley as well. We also find out that Everly is not Hartley's actual twin sister. They're all apple babies, so I guess technically they're all connected, but Everly is actually Hartley's cousin, and truly that's in Enchantia, she's Hartley's real twin sister. So we also figured out that Ophelia, when she came over to talk to Mom and Nick, or really talk to Mom, Ophelia doesn't want Nick to come to Enchantia, which is an interesting thought. We don't really know why yet. So we're going to talk about chapter 7 and 8 today. 9 is pretty long and has some good stuff in it, but I think 9 deserves, it's kind of like 9 and 10 kind of deserve their own video. So we're going to do 6 and 7. 7 and 8. So with 7 opens up, Everly's still shook. She's at home and she's still shook over the fact that all of this has happened. You remember, in their time, this is all essentially within the same day or two. Not a day or two, I shouldn't say that, because they've already buried Mom. But when Nick came to take Hartley, and he purposely did that, when he came to take Hartley, this is the same day. It's picking up with that. So Everly, she's at home, and she, like I said, she's still shook about all of this. And so, but she still doesn't believe that she's siphoned anything. She doesn't believe, she feels like truly, she honestly feels as though that the magic that she's wielding is really coming from herself and not from her siphoning anything. Because, if you think about it, that's a lot to deal with, to know that you're the cause of so much pain and destruction within your own family, So she's gone to a mirror to prove it to herself. She wants to prove the fact that she's not this murderer. So she goes to the mirror, and the mirror works. Like, what happens is, she says, "Mirror, mirror, show me what I need to see." And she's thinking she's going to see like Truly, and she's going to see all the folks in Enchantia. But what happens is that girl that she saw before herself comes, and we come to find out that, y'all, listen to this, like, it's odd. Oh, side note, before she goes to the mirror, mirror, she actually tries it, because they've been telling her that she's Evil Queen. So she actually tries, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest?" And she goes, "Oh no, why waste magic with such a stupid request?" Like, I love this. What do they call it? I know I used the word already, but that, not fourth wall break, but they're meta. Like, they're really. This is a fairy tale talking about fairy tales, talking about a fairy tale. Like, anyway. So when the girl comes back, herself comes back, she's like, she's shook, because she's like, "Is this the future?" and so forth. And when herself comes back, she comes up like last time she was all decked out and nice looking, but really, kind of like ready to fight. Now she comes out, and even more so, like with the eyeliner and the makeup and the clothing and everything. She's like, I don't recognize, this is me, but I don't recognize me. And so the girl speaks to her, and she asked, well, who are you? She goes, I'm an eternal extension of your magical sixth sense. Y'all get this, okay? I had to reread it, and I still don't think I understand what's happening here. But she goes, so like she said, I'm an external extension of your magical sixth sense. I am new beginning, and my roots run deep. I am a tree in a forest of thousands. I see and hear what others do not. Did y'all get that? So I guess the vision that's coming to Everly that looks like Everly but's not Everly is part of the tree, and it's what Everly could be. I don't know. I really don't know. But all that said and done, they end up naming her. They name her for Everly. And they say it simultaneously. Like, it's funny. But anyway, so Foreverly tells Everly that she doesn't need, because they're thinking that Nick and Hartley, they're all waiting for Ophelia to come back and take them into Enchantia. And Forever's like, yo, we don't need that. And Everly's like, but everybody else does. She's like, nah, boo. You're me, I'm you kind of thing. We don't need that. She's, when you're ready to come with me, then you can come with me. Because, Everly's like, I don't know if I should. That whole teeter-totter, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should trust you. If I don't trust you, then doesn't mean that I don't trust myself. That whole psychoanalyzing of yourself, evil self, possibly, all of that. So anyway, Foreverly tells her, like, if you'll know how to do this when you're ready. And she leaves. And so Everly kind of walks around the house, goes back and forth, and she decides, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go. She goes, that's what Mom wanted. In order to help find things and fix things, I need to figure out who I am, how to work my powers, and all of that. So she goes around, and remember I told you guys, Mom said that everything that she had gotten stolen, but in a box in Mom's closet, in Audrey's closet, Everly finds a box that said old times, and in there's a dress, there's jewels, there is meteorite for some reason. I guess it's going to be important. There's a book of fairy tales, so there's like a whole, conveniently, I guess it's like a, it's her emergency escape bag that's sitting in the closet. So Everly puts everything on, and with some apprehension in the fact that it is her mother's stuff. It fits like her mother, so she has to adjust and so forth, because technically she's not her mother. Audrey's not her mother, and Audrey was built different. So she goes through that. So anyway, she packs everything up, and then she goes around her house and she gets things like toothpaste and small things here and there, a compass or something, and packs in, and then she calls on the mirror and goes through the mirror. Like, she calls in a mirror, and she just goes through the mirror, and that's her magic coming through. So she still doesn't know if she siphoned it, or if because she pulled so much from Mom that her batteries recharged. We don't really know. I'm thinking that it's the latter, that her magical battery has been recharged. That's weird. Her magical battery has been recharged, and that's why she doesn't necessarily need to siphon right now. That's the thought. So anyway, she heads into Enchantia. Enchantia? I don't know. Anywho, and then, like I said, she takes a copy of the fairy tales with her, Little Snow White to be exact. She takes that with her as well, because she feels like she's going to need it as a reference. So that leads us into chapter 8. And in chapter 8, when we get into chapter 8, what we realize is, so the Enchanted Mirror, it's not it's like a journey, because it's not, I'm trying to think, like, it's almost going through a wormhole, because you would think like you're going through the mirror and then poop, you're on the other side, but it's not that. Like, she has to go, and she's traveling some, and there's all of this movement and wishing, and then not wishing, but whooshing and stuff, and then she ends up like in the desert, down in the one I can't say, Aria, a kingdom of Aria, which is where she's from anyway. Well, technically where she's from. So anyway, she ends up down there, and she just plops into the sand, and there, standing there, is Noelle. Now remember, Noelle is the oracle. So you have Ophelia, but Noelle is the oracle, and Noelle's there with a mirror, and she's like, hey, nice to see you. And Everly's taken back a little bit. Y'all, I wonder about Ophelia or Noelle. Here's the thing. I wonder if Noelle spent some time on Earth, because the way Noelle speaks is really odd. She speaks like an Earth person, like our dimension kind of person, our realm or whatever. Because specifically, so anyway, what happens is Noelle, she goes, you're Noelle. I said, Giddily, an oracle. And let me read this part. Let me pick this book up. Here we go. So Noelle says, the one and only, she smiled, and incredibly purple, and with her incredibly purple eyes of wisdom. You're going to be so happy, Everly, joyous beyond your wildest imaginings if you get stronger. Unfortunately, the only way to turn a lump of coal into a diamond is to apply heat and pressure. The only way to help a tree bear more fruit is to prune unnecessary branches. Is that Mom? To soar, a butterfly must first flee the chrysalis. The only way to, and she goes, I get it. But essentially, Noelle's telling her, look, you got to go through these trials and tribulations in order to be the best you can be. And then she automatically changes mind. She goes, but you're not dressed for the occasion. And Everly's like, what do you mean I'm not dressed? She goes, you got to dress for the job you want. And that line right there, that's odd. And then immediately, so Everly asks, well, Noelle says presentation matters, and Everly asks, well, what job do I want? She goes, Queen of Hearts, yo. Wife, mother, obsession, weapon, shield, alluring, choices abound. She winked at me. She used the word yo. Queen of Hearts, yo. And again, another reference. I'm keeping a list, side note. I'm keeping a list of how many times this book references Disney stuff. Like, now we had Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Queen of Hearts, obviously Snow White, but it's funny. I don't know if she's doing this to be facetious or if it's going to tie in somehow. I think it's just being facetious. She's just funny about it. Our author, Gena Showalter. But anyway, so I wonder if Noelle kind of spent time here on Earth, because her language is really odd for somebody to be from Enchanted. Because remember, Audrey, the way she speaks and so forth is so regal and royal, but it's also heavily accented, that Everly and Hartley never really knew where she was from, because of her accent. And just the way it seems, Noelle doesn't necessarily have that kind of accent, and she uses words that are straight up American. So anyway, all right, sorry, I digress. So let me get back on track. So Noelle tells Everly that she needs to go, and that she's gonna pop back in a little bit, but that Everly needs to go and find shelter, because there's like gonna be a sandstorm coming. Like, there's a storm, not sandstorm, but there's like this rainstorm coming, and she needs to go seek and find shelter. And she tells her, so anyway, y'all, Nicholas's last name is Nicholas Soren, as in sorcerer. Anyway, it was cute. But because Everly asks Noelle, hey, I need to know about Nick, and I need to know about all these things, and and of course, true to form the story, Noelle's like, well, I can't tell you all that right now, but I'm gonna need you to go and find some shelter, and I'll check back with you in about 5 minutes, because you're gonna need me to patch some stuff up for you. And so Everly goes off, and then she finds this tent, and there's some trolls in there. And I wrote on here, I was like, really, a hot troll? Because Everly sees these trolls, and some of them seem pretty rough, but then there's one, and she's like, well, he's not bad looking, like he's muscular and so forth. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, she ends up getting out of there, because as she goes in there, these trolls are like straight up eating someone. Like, they're literally eating. And anyway, so she backs out, and they end up seeing her, catching her, and they're trying to pursue her, and so she fights. And now I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. Nick did teach Everly how to fight because he obviously knew that she's going to need to know how to fight. But he did teach her how to fight. He taught her, and even taught her how to throw daggers and things. So she is really, really good at fighting. Obviously, and she's broken 2 noses in one day kind of thing. But so anyway, so she kind of gets out of the situation, and then she books and she runs for it. And then as she's running, Noelle is speaking to her in her mind telepathically, and Everly's kind of taken back for a minute. She's like, whoa. And Noelle's like, yo, yeah, no, check this out. All of us can do this. He's like, it must be an Apple baby thing, because us Apple babies, we have this tie to the roots, and so Noelle is Hartley's taken back by it for a minute. Hartley, Lord, it's too many names. Everly's taken back by it. But anyway, Noelle kind of guides her through the streets and where she needs to go. And she ends up in this tent of Roth. Roth and Truly are there. And they are just been fighting some trolls. And so there's this one troll on the ground where Roth is like, he's there and he's all bloody, and he had just cut the troll's hands off, and he has his foot on the troll's neck, crushing his windpipe. It's really weird. And Truly, Everly walks in on this, and Truly's up on in the back, and she's all beat up and bloody, and they had a time of it. And then this troll that Roth had just battled, I guess, was trying to attack Truly, or attack Roth. Gee, Lord have mercy. So the troll that Roth had pinned down was trying to attack him because, and he kind of flipped him over or whatever, and the handless troll was beating on Roth without his hands, but with his arms, kind of clubbing, and Everly reacts and throws a dagger, hits the thing dead in the head, and he's good. He's dead, and she's like, I killed. So here's the thing that I find that we're going to have a good time. Not a good time. I shouldn't say that, because that's not what I meant. But we know that I think in Everly is a good person. Okay. Everly is a person who she doesn't want to kill. She wants to protect her family and those she loves. And I think right now she's kind of fallen a little smidgen in love with Mr. Roth here, but we'll see how that goes. So she throws the dagger to protect him, and she doesn't regret doing it, but she feels remorse about it. She's like, what if that troll had a family? What if that troll has a mother and siblings? And she really goes there. And I appreciate that about her. It isn't just, I killed this thing that was going to attack this guy that I find is hot, and he doesn't really know me like that yet, but she really sat back and she thought about the fact that she just caused someone's death. And I appreciate Gena Showalter doing that for Everly. So, but in the midst of this, Roth is like, you, and she's like, yeah, me. And wait, what do you mean me? He goes, why are you here? And he just yells at her, why are you here? What are you doing here? And they kind of leave it at that. That's where it kind of stops. And we don't know if he knows her, because remember, he sensed her before watching. I always feel like somebody's watching me. That is the theme song for this. Y'all, that's the theme song. Yeah. So far, that's going to fit. She's always watching, folks. Anyway. So we don't really know how he senses her, or if he really knows, or if he's had visions himself. I don't know. But we're left with him saying that, and Everly thinking about the fact that she just killed for technically the second time, but she's wrapping her head around. She purposely took somebody's life. Yeah. So, yeah, chapter 9 is even better. I mean, y'all, this is why I love reading, because it really, when you have a good author, they get you engrossed, and this is plot, and it's just bombs everywhere, plot bombs. and it's a really good pace. And I'm astonished because I have no idea where this story is going to go. Like, normally you can kind of, by chapters 9, 10, or so, you kind of have a feel of where you think this might go. I still don't know where this is going to go, and it's exciting. It's thrilling and it's exciting. So if you haven't picked it up, pick it up. But yeah, that's Evil Queen for today. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, always, y'all, have a magically blessed day, and I'll be praying for you. See you later, guys. Bye.